Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video, and today finally I have the Galaxy Z Fold 5, which I have been waiting for a while. And I know that I've been pretty vocal about this phone because, to be really honest with you guys, it's pretty much the exact same phone as the Galaxy Z Fold 4, and you guys also know it. That's the biggest criticism that this phone has. But now that I actually have it in hand, I'm actually excited to review it because I think that I've had a little bit of a change in heart, but I'll explain what I'm talking about. Now, not to say that the Galaxy Z Fold 5 is a bad phone in any way, but the only thing that bothers me is that there are other phones that have gone way past ahead of Samsung, and Samsung being the first phone that actually introduced into the foldable market, and now it's kind of way behind the others. So we have the example of the Pixel Fold, we have the example of the Honor Magic VS, which are pretty much better phones than the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 and 5, and yet we're still stuck with kind of the same design, but I kind of understand why. And I think that Samsung, unlike Apple, is not really afraid to introduce a lot of phones at the same time. So I'll give you guys an example. When the Galaxy Note came out, I think this was the Galaxy Note 4, you guys might have remembered that there was a Galaxy Note Edge that also came out with it, which was a phone that had an edge on one side. And that's just what kind of Samsung does. It kind of experiments and see what works and what doesn't work. And I think Samsung kind of also did the same thing with the Galaxy Z Fold 5, where if they were to introduce changes to the Galaxy Z Fold lineup, they would most likely come up with a completely different phone that would be maybe more premium and have all the features that people have been critical about. So let's go ahead and unbox this phone real quick. We have this minimal thin box here, this time again telling us that we don't have anything else apart from maybe a cable and the phone. And I also actually have this slim S Pen case here, which I'm gonna go ahead and also unbox. So let's go ahead and first look at what we have here. We have the icy blue color here. It doesn't say the specs, but we have 512 gigs of internal storage. This also comes in 256 gigs and a 1 terabyte option as well. So we have the phone up front here, and I guess that's pretty much it. It doesn't even come with a cable? Oh wait, 1 second. Oh yeah, it does come with the cable. So we have the SIM ejector pin over here, and then we have the paperwork alongside with the cable. The color that we have is the icy blue color, which is very kind of like a light blue option, and I think it's one of the prettiest colors. I actually like it better than the black color because it really shows you the phone. So there we have it, guys, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 in the icy blue color. And I have to say again that you can't really tell what phone this is just looking at it from far away, because the camera setup on the back is the exact same as the Galaxy Z Fold 4, apart from the LED flash, which was down here. But one big change, the biggest change that we've all been waiting for, is the gap, which the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 now finally doesn't have a gap. And this is the first time, 5 generations it took for Samsung to actually acknowledge that and actually make a phone that doesn't have a gap, when other phones that actually came out after the Galaxy Z Fold lineup have had no gap since the first generation. So if we look at the design, we have the same tall aspect ratio, unlike the Pixel Fold, which is a little bit of a shorter phone and has a wider screen. Looking at the overall design of the phone, this comes with a full aluminum frame, and this is Samsung's armored aluminum is what they advertise this with. And we have a glass front and a glass back. This time we have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and the back as well. Inside we don't have really any protection. We have the stereo speaker up here, and then we also have another stereo speaker down here, and we also have the USB port on this side. We also have the volume rockers, the SIM tray, and the power button, which is actually integrated with a fingerprint scanner. This phone is also slightly thinner than last year's Z Fold 4, so it comes at around 2 millimeters thinner. Looking at the display on the front, we have a 6.2-inch AMOLED display here on the front, which has 120 hertz of refresh rate. This is a dynamic display. On the inside, the size this time is a 7.6-inch display, also AMOLED, also 120 hertz with a dynamic option. One big difference is that this time the Galaxy Z Fold 5 has a peak brightness of 1700 nits combined, as compared to last year's, which was only 1000 nits. When it comes to the performance, this time Samsung put in the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, which is a chip that's been used for the past most likely 6-7 months now. This one is the overclocked version. And when we did the Antutu benchmark test, it gave us around 1.53 million points, which again is flagship. This is the best of the best. When we look at the software, this is packed with Android 13, which comes with One UI 5.1. The thing about this is that this time there is a little bit of a change when it comes specifically to the Fold devices, because now we have the option of multitasking if you do want to use this phone as a multitasking option, which now allows you to have 4 different apps running at the same time on the display with the split screen. I should also mention that this actually comes with 12 gigs of RAM, and that's the only option that you get. We don't get 8 gigs or any other. Now, when it comes to the batteries, Samsung has really also not changed too much there. So we have a 4,400 milliampere battery. According to some of the tests that we did, this gave us around 13 hours of video playback, and I think around 37 hours of talk time. And if we talk about the supporting charging that this comes with, then this comes with the 25 watts of wired charging support and 15 watts of wireless charging. And this also has reverse wireless charging, which I believe is going to give you 4.5 watts. Coming down to the cameras. Now the cameras are again the exact same as last year's. Even the hardware is the same. The megapixels is the same. On the back, we have a triple camera setup. We have a main 50 megapixel main camera. Then we have a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and we also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. We also have 2 selfie cameras, one which is on the outside and another one on the inside. The one on the inside is an under display selfie camera, which is 4 megapixel camera, which again is the same exact as last year's. It's pretty average, I would say. It's not really any better than last year's, and that's something that you have to compromise when it comes to under display cameras, because the quality is not as good. On the front selfie camera, we get a slightly better camera at 10 megapixels as well. For video recording, this will give you 8K resolution at 30 FPS, and it will give you 4K at 24, 30, and 60 FPS. On the selfie camera, surprisingly, the one on the inside also has 1080p video resolution, I think at 24 FPS or 30 FPS, and the 10 megapixel selfie camera as well can give you 4K video resolution at 30 and 60 FPS. Now, if we come down to the actual pricing of this phone, then I have to say this is a very expensive phone, and this comes at 6,800 dirhams for the 256 gig version. If you want to buy the 512 option, then that comes at around 7,250 dirhams. Yes, that's right. And if you want to go for the 1 terabyte version, then that's going to cost you a whopping 8,150 dirhams for the 1 terabyte option, which is a lot of money, I have to say. And that's what kind of makes this a very tough decision. If you look at other foldable phones, then you can actually get pretty much the exact same features that the Galaxy Z Fold 5 provides, but at a slightly lower cost. And foldable phones are always going to be expensive. You have to admit the fact that they're doing this, right? So obviously with a folded display, you are going to get a more expensive phone. That's just how it is. But I would actually go for the Pixel Fold, which is a phone that's very, very similar to the Galaxy Z Fold 5, apart from just having kind of like a different design, which is a shorter aspect, wider aspect ratio. But that actually costs slightly cheaper. So I think it's around $100 cheaper than the Galaxy Z Fold 5. And again, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 is 90% the same phone as the Galaxy Z Fold 4. So yeah, I understand that, yes, this is Samsung, this is the best of the best, but again, at that price point, it's very difficult to kind of even consider buying this. And if you are in the lookout for a foldable device, then yes, you can go for the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is going to give you pretty much the exact same look and vibe and feel as the Galaxy Z Fold 5. And if you can live with the gap in the middle, then go ahead for that. But if I was you, I would go for the Pixel Fold, which is this year's phone, and it has pretty much everything that the Galaxy Z Fold 5 does at a slightly cheaper cost. I actually forgot to show you guys the case, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that real quick. So we have the slim S Pen case, which now comes with an S Pen, and yes, this does support S Pen. This does have S Pen support. So let me go ahead and show you guys that. We have one part, and then we have the second part, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the nib replacements for the S Pen. That's pretty nice to see. Let me see if I can go ahead and nail this. Okay, there we go. So the front cover actually comes with a little bit of, I think, sticky tape or double tape. You have to take it off to actually use it. But this is pretty much how it's gonna look like. And the S Pen is actually kind of hidden here. It doesn't really bulk up to the design, which is something that I really like. And I think that it actually looks better with the cover on. If you want to take out the S Pen, you actually have to slide down and then it comes out. Now this time we also have a little bit of a different S Pen. This is a much slimmer design than we saw last year. You can then use this as any regular S Pen, similar to what you can with the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the S22 Ultra. So yeah guys, that's my conclusion on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. I also have the Galaxy Z Flip 5 coming, which actually has bigger changes than the Galaxy Z Fold 5. And one last thing that I just wanted to mention here is that this phone coming at around 8,000 dirhams is nearly double of what you can get a Galaxy S23 Ultra for. And the Galaxy S23 Ultra is a proper flagship device. Even though it's around 6 months old, but it's actually way more advanced than the Galaxy Z Fold 5. And it just, because of the fact that this is a foldable device, this is 2 times more expensive than that. So you might want to consider even the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And I know that that's not a foldable device, but we're talking about spending 4,000 or 5,000 dirhams against spending 8,000 dirhams. So guys, that's my thought on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what you think about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.